I'm Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network. I'm at Park Crossing High School. I'm joined by head football coach, Coach C.J. Harris. And Coach, for you guys, you're playing right now, and that's where you wanted to be when the season started, was playing in the second week of the playoffs. And your path here has been, different from a lot of teams, but you guys have found a way to get here, and you entered the playoffs with a 3-7 record, and you travel to one of the best teams in 6A in Saraland, and you come out with a win there. But when you look at what you guys had to go through in the regular season, I think that all of that is what really paid off, and you got to see that on Friday night when you guys went out there and got that win.
That's the biggest thing, just big thanks to those teams that have prepared us for the playoff. Every game is a challenge. Like I told somebody, we probably played the toughest schedule in the state of Alabama, and that's including the University of Alabama, the Auburn, just playing the schedule that we played. I think it has really prepared us for what we're trying to accomplish right now.
Going in, y'all were a 3-7 team, but people around the state even said they're 3-7, but they're not a 3-7 football team. It's just a product of the quality of competition you guys have played.
Well, just one mistake here, one mistake there. We didn't. Besides like one game, we have been in every game. You're talking about one series away from possibly being where we need to be, a better record or whatever. But biggest thing, not how you start is how you finish. And I think we're playing good football right now. Not great football, but good. And there's some things that we can fix to be able to play great football.
For you, you've gotten to coach with a lot of good coaches in your career, and then you spent time at Prattville with Coach Clark and with Coach Dubose, and then you were a head coach at Sidney Lanier at one point as well. And how much did your experience at Sidney Lanier and going there and having already been a head coach and taking a team to the playoffs really paid off for you taking over at Park Crossing?
Well, the biggest thing, just like I tell, and like people say, just biggest thing, don't try to reinvent the wheel, because you can't. Just biggest thing, just taking a little bit from this person. Meeting with Coach Clark during the summer, meeting with Coach DeBose during the summer. Meeting with some other guys like Coach Stewart, who's still down in Dothan. Talking to Coach Ross over at Prattville. Even Coach Gresham, that used to be the head coach at Carver. Just meeting with those guys, taking a little bit, and just trying to make that what we're trying to do right. It's never a right or a wrong way to do things, but biggest thing is just finding a way and finding what makes your team click and get focused to do what they're supposed to do.
When you think back at your time at Prattville, and I've talked to Coach Wallace about this, Coach Ross about this, but do you kind of look back now and go, man, I really didn't realize how good of a staff that we had at Prattville when I was there? Yeah,
we had a real good staff at Prattville, and that's compliments to Coach Clark and Coach DeBose putting those staffs together. And one of the biggest things, a lot of those coaches are either coordinators or head coaches somewhere, and and that's one of their biggest things, where I never want to hire a person that doesn't have aspirations of being a head coach or a coordinator or something like that. Don't just settle for being a position coach. And that's one of the things that they instill. With Prattville being my first job, I was 21-year-old. Leaving straight off the playing field to coaching, and it's one of those things that they instilled in me how to work, what to do, and what you need to do to be successful.
Yeah, and not many guys that are 21 or fresh out of college get the opportunity that you got to go and coach at a place like Prattville that was rolling at the time that they were. And number one, I guess, how grateful are you that you got to go and do that at such a young age? And then number two, how much just your experience at Prattville, being there, that being your first job, really pay off for what you've become now?
Well, I'm blessed, to even get an opportunity. I didn't even apply for the job. Coach Clark called me, and it was crazy. He called, and I actually hung up because I thought someone was playing a joke on my phone. And I actually called back and said, "This is Coach Clark. I want to offer you a job." And one thing led to another, and just the experience of just seeing how it's done, how it's supposed to be done. It helped mold me into the person that I am, to make sure that things are done right. You can look at the success Coach Clark is having over at up at UAB. Mm-hmm. He had instant success. Everywhere he's been successful, from Jacksonville State to South Alabama. And they shut down the program up at UAB, and he get right back to rolling and working, and those type things paid off. And even Coach DeBose, probably one of the best coaches I've ever been around. You know, just players coach, let you as a person coach and do your job. You know, one of my best friends, we talk at least once, twice a week, and always coming up with ideas and things, you know, asking, and I'm able to bounce things off him, what he thinks. He bounced things off me, and, you know, just one of the things, just being around good people. You know, that's the same thing I'm working on here, just making sure that the atmosphere is a good atmosphere, and, you know, we're all about football.
For you, you know, you got to coach against some of the guys that you coached under, like Coach Grider this year, and, you know, against Coach DuBose. And what's that like now, you know, going up against those guys and, you know, taking your team and playing against their team?
Well, you know, it's fun. It's always fun when you're able to play against a former person that you have worked for and worked with. You know, and just seeing the kids, how they respond. You know, some games, you know, we talk about it after the game, and before the game we might say something to each other. But you know, great experience, you know, especially, you know, playing guys like Coach DuBose and Coach Grider. You know, they have been around a lot of good football, been at a lot of great programs, and just, you know, being able to, like I told somebody, if you can work for Coach DuBose, you can work for Coach Grider, and vice versa. You know, two great guys, great minds, and they, you know, do it right.
For your group, y'all are young going into this year. You know, you mentioned talking to me earlier that you got one defensive lineman that may have his driver's license, and you've got one offensive lineman that has his driver's license. And after that, it's a bunch of 15-year-olds and 14-year-olds. Playing the schedule that you guys played, could you really see the youth show early in this year, and how much have you really seen them grow from playing that schedule?
Well, that's one of the things, just being so young. You know, a lot of people look at our players and be like, wow, he's big, you know. Well, like I tell people, you know, that kid just turned 15 years old, or he just turned 16 years old. And it's just one of those things that, you know, you have to take the growing pains. You know, in the future, you know, things should be better and will be better. But right now, you just got to, you know, the schedule that was presented to us, we just had to play it, you know, and it was one of those things that, it was one of those schedules that, like I said, was very challenging, you know. Starting out how we started out, you know, the kids were playing, you know, they stayed in every game, they played all four quarters, but at the same time, that experience took over. You know, I can recall I know when I was at Prattville, we used to play those top-notch teams from the Don Bosco's to the St. X, and just playing St. Thomas Aquinas and playing those type teams, you know. You can tell the youthness in your group opposed to those kids that are 18, 19 years old. You know, like I told everybody, we're playing with a bunch of 14, 15-year-olds, a couple 16 and like one 17-year-old. And, you know, that's one of the advantages I know for the upcoming years. We have most of these guys back for the next year or two. So, you know, it's going to be, you'll see a difference with maturity-wise, you know, in the next couple of years also.
When Coach Grider came here, there was a lot of early success, you know, at Park Crossing. When you go to a semifinal game, you know, within the first couple of years of the school. But do you think that kind of, for some people, maybe put too big of an expectation for the rest of the years? Because that was just a good group that year that had a lot of seniors, a lot of experience. And I'm not really sure Park Crossing has ever gotten back to where they have that much experience, but it kind of seems like these younger groups may get to a point where they're kind of like that group. But do you think that year just kind of was one of those, you know, years where there was just a lot of experience, a lot of older guys, and that's really what kind of helped pay off that year?
Well, you can just look at the wall outside. You see all those guys are either juniors or seniors, and a lot of those guys, you know, will get the opportunity to play on Sundays.
Yeah.
And, you know, you talking about you having with like Jawan Taylor, will get the chance to play on Sunday, Tank Jenkins, Malik Cunningham, just, you know, those guys are Sunday type guys, and you know, you can actually see it in their play. You know, even Cam Bright is up at Pittsburgh doing what he's supposed to do, and like, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, when you get those caliber guys, you know, it's hard not to lose.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those guys were juniors and seniors, and, you know, right now, like I said, we're playing with a bunch of 10th and 11th graders. You know, the few seniors we do have, like I know right now defensively, we only have 3 defensive starters that are seniors. On offense, I want to say 4 offensive starters that are seniors. So, you know, you have the whole D-line coming back, 3 of the 4 linebackers coming back. 2 of the starters in the secondary. You know, you're only losing the quarterback and the center offensively and 2 receivers. So everything comes back for the next year or 2. So, you know, I think the future is real bright at Park Crossing for the upcoming years.
You know, when you look at it, while you entered the playoffs with 3-7 record, you guys won the games that you needed to win to get in. And I mean, how happy were you with the fact that even though y'all kind of struggled this year, you guys were able to come together and win the 3 games that now put you in the position that you're in?
Well, the biggest thing is, you know, making sure you handle do what you're supposed to do. You know, like I said, you talking about we were 1 to 2 plays away in all the games that we have lost, and you know that's just things that as coaches we got to find a way, and that was one of the things I told them at Saraland. You know, we found a way to win rather than a way to lose, and you know that's one of the things that let me know that we're maturing and we are just getting to where we need to be, playing good football at the right time.
Do you feel like this win over Saraland is going to be one that can kind of help boost these young kids' confidence and can really help this program as you're trying to help, you know, get it going and growing?
Well, every win is important to us. You know, we want every win regardless who we're playing. We want to win, and that's one of the things that, you know, we have been talking to the guys about, just making sure that, you know, we're doing everything we're supposed to do to get the win. And, you know, like I said, you know, we've been having some real good practices lately. And guys been flying around doing everything they're supposed to do, and like you know, it shows. It started to show on the field. Like I said, but that goes back to the maturity level of the players that we have. Like I said, you know, everybody else playing with 17, 18-year-olds. We're playing with 15, 16-year-olds. So you know, it's just one of those things that we, you know, every win counts. Every win is meaningful. You know, we're not looking at this win just because we beat this team. We want to win all the games. And, you know, that's the mindset that we have right now. We just want to go out and just play great football.
What do you want to see from your group this week? You know, responding after a big win, after a big upset. I mean, what do you want to see from them in the game Friday night that, even if you don't come out on top, will encourage you about this young group and knowing that we really have matured, you know, as much as I thought we have.
Well, biggest thing just going out playing park crossing football. You know, as long as we're playing park crossing football, we have no worries. You know, just like in the past, you have seen the past groups, you know, come out, you know, flying around, making tackles, catching balls, running balls, blocking, just doing what we're supposed to do. And, you know, that's one of the things that, you know, like I said, I never question how physically prepared we are. Just, like I said, just making sure that we're mentally prepared and ready to go. And, you know, right now, like I said, I feel that we're real good, doing good things, and I'm not worried, so.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time to sit down with me. Congratulations on, you know, making it this point in the year, because not many other teams that can say that.
Right.
Good luck to you guys. I know it's a big game tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Thank you.
All right.